The views or opinions expressed on Ann Arbor Inclusive do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of the City of Ann Arbor and the Commission on Disability Issues. For more information about the Ann Arbor Commission on Disability Issues, please visit a2gov.org/disability resources.
Hello everyone and welcome to Ann Arbor Inclusive. I'm Zach Damon. We have a wonderful show for you today as Tom Jones, the Director of Michigan Operation of Freedom Outdoors, joins us in studio. Well, Tom, let's get the ball rolling, shall we?
All right.
First of all, for those that don't know, what is Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors and when were you established?
Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors is a great collaborative of different affiliates that, stepped forward to, they saw the need to help the other able to get out into the outdoors, and it started around September 2013. A bunch of people were sitting around a table seeing the need for this. With Michigan's ranking, it was pretty bad for veteran spending per capita.
Was it really?
Yeah, we were 52nd in the nation at the time.
Oh,
We've since, right behind Puerto Rico and Guam. So.
Wow.
But we've stepped it up a little bit, but there's still the need. And just with the disabled community, it's there's a lot of infrastructure that could be maintained a little better, and
Sure.
Different areas of public lands to be outfitted to get them out there too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, I think that's wonderful. I mean, because you've been involved with it from the beginning, and do you sort of know kind of what was that spark? What made you and everyone else involved say, you know what, Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors, this is something that needs to happen? I mean, where did you guys see that need? Do you remember that?
No, well, I wasn't around for the initial beginning.
Oh,
I
okay.
came in July of 2014
Okay.
and heard about what they were throwing around the table, and it just it sparked my interest so much because being a veteran of the United States Army and have doing 2 tours, what service is, and when you have an opportunity to impact a community and bring folks back together around a table for a cup of coffee just to get the camaraderie back, and you see a big benefit to that. So it didn't seem like a job to me. It seemed more like an extended enlistment date.
Sure.
To where I could continue to serve and help folks that don't normally necessarily have opportunities like these that we offer.
So, I mean, that's very interesting, and of course the backstory as well. So would it be correct to say to you that this is more of a calling rather than just something you're doing?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've had moments where I've thought back, and this is kind of how I was always brought up. You do good by people, and
Sure.
With no ulterior motives, and you start reaping benefits that you can't explain.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. And MyOFO, which is the acronym for Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors, is committed to providing outstanding outdoor recreation opportunities to wounded veterans and individuals with health challenges, and to coordinate a support network that facilitates their recovery through connecting with nature. And I think that is just an awesome mission statement, especially the connecting with nature aspect of it. I mean, can you talk to me, why is connecting with nature, in your opinion, important for veterans with disabilities?
Well, it just humans, as a species, it's if you think about it, we've been in nature longer than we haven't. You look at human history, and it's just something that is ingrained in our DNA. You get out there and you breathe in the change of the seasons, or you feel that breeze on your neck, and
Yeah.
It's just something that maybe it takes you back to running the woods when you were a kid. It might make you want to get back out there for the next day, but there's a lot of sciences and studies behind it that show that outdoor, put your feet in the grass and improve your attitude, but
Yeah.
those are just studies on paper. When you actually take a person and get them out there and you witness it firsthand,
Sure.
it helps more than just that individual. It helps me as well.
Yeah.
So, everyone involved.
No, I mean, I think that's wonderful, and I'd have to agree with you. I mean, I grew up in Boy Scouting and camping and being an outdoorsman myself, and I have to say that it did wonders for myself as well in terms of just getting out in the fresh air, being active, and I think it's wonderful that you help promote that to
Yeah.
veterans and people with disabilities. I
Yeah.
mean, do you notice, I would say, a positive change from those that come and participate in the hunts and the other events?
Yeah, I've been witness to, with the mobility equipment that we have, for other abled that aren't necessarily, they don't have the greatest mobility. And, you open up the garage, and I've had people cry when they see these track chairs.
Really?
And, and it's, it's just something so impactful that is so easy to provide. It's like you call me, you have my number, you have a chair to use.
Sure.
We work out the details and eventually get folks out. But the impact I've seen, I've had wives of the veterans and people I've taken out. One wife of a Vietnam veteran said, "What did you do to my son?" Or my husband kind of caught me off guard, and I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" She's like, "He hasn't talked to me this much. He's yapping my ear off. I couldn't go to bed last night."
Yeah.
And then he beat me there the next morning
Wow.
before I got to the gate. So, just the improvements, it opens people's eyes up to a better tomorrow.
Sure.
Or, that they can come out and participate like they used to, or,
Right.
Get into new hobbies. We've had people that weren't hunters or outdoorsmen that, they come out and get a taste of it and
Sure.
see the group we have, and I can't keep them away.
Yeah. Well, and again, I think that's extremely, really, really awesome and really great. But you talked about how there are individuals that when they see you, that you're doing this, and you invite them along, and they see you with the equipment and going out there, that they actually cry. So can you talk about how did you feel when you saw that, and you saw that reaction and them get so emotional?
Well, it's kind of unexplainable. I can't really see that, that I'm the person that provided that. It's not me, it's the group that we have and the individuals, the different resources we can provide from, the Eisenhower Center's therapy programs for veterans and
Yep.
the NFL. We can take folks that maybe they don't have a good rapport
Right.
with a doctor. Well, they can go in here, and it's, a civilian sector. It's leaves a different taste in their mouth. We've able to, we've put about 5 veterans through the program.
Wow.
That have told me, like, "Hey, you saved my life."
Wow.
And I can't take responsibility for that. I was
Right.
just the guy with the resources.
Right.
So, it makes me feel proud. I'm very proud of what I'm doing. And it's, just every season, it's just more and more of an impact that I see with people and different people.
Sure.
It's like I said, it's unexplainable. It's a great feeling, and that's my harvest in the woods, is being able to provide, an outdoor adventure for someone that, they benefit from it in more ways than I can explain. So.
Yeah. Well, and I've hunted before, and of course I've had fellow hunters who have been my friends as well. And I don't know if you agree with this, but I tend to think so, that hunting itself is a very meditative act. And at least for me, it's something that is extremely peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, I haven't gone out tons of times, and I don't have, a bunch of trophies to show for it, but it's one of those things that's just something with man or woman being out in the woods by yourself, being able to connect, as you say in your mission statement, connecting with nature.
Yeah.
And just that connection that you feel, and the energies and the air and everything about it. And, it's just, again, wonderful that you're able to offer that.
Yeah, it's, the connecting with nature comes in many forms. Someone, maybe their connection is, sitting in one of the adaptable, accessible blinds that we have. And, most of the time I like people to be as independent as possible. So if they, even if they can't walk, we put them in a chair, and, it's got a 10-mile single charge. They can roll out, drag deer out of the woods with it. So it's, it's bringing back that independence. And, some people, on the other hand, will like to go in a blind and shoot with a camera.
Sure.
So it's just all in, I leave it up to the individual. But, the impacts that we have with those are, daily during the season.
It's interesting. We talked a little bit before the show, and I asked you, I said, well, okay, you offer so many great trips and so many great activities. Okay, you've got to tell me, Tom, how much does this cost? And I was floored because you told me the answer, and it's completely free.
Yeah, everything, this is an opportunity, like the mission statement says. You know, I want it to be your opportunity to have the freedom outdoors, and you know, our opportunity to have it's everybody's. So, you know, being partnered with the Department of Natural Resources in Michigan here, it's, you know, there's 4.6 million acres of public land. And when people look at, you know, you think public land, you know, you got the guys that like doing backwoods camping and, you know, these hunting trips where they go set up camp, but no one stops to think that, you know, just because you're able-bodied and you can, you know, camp out 10 miles deep into the public land,
Sure.
it's still public land if you're disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's, with, you know, the help of the DNR, they've laid down accessible gravel trails and,
Wow.
you know, accessible blinds sitting right on food plots and,
Yep.
you know, different habitats and, you know, making it more accessible to everybody.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, and, you know, do you feel that the participation in the program, you know, since you've been around, since 2014, has continued to increase? I mean, do you notice people returning and coming back and saying, man, this is great, I want to do this some more?
I mean, we have a core group of people that come out so much they've developed nicknames. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So, I mean, we got a great group of individuals, and, you know, we bring them together, and next thing you know, they're going out and having coffee or, you know, sharing resources. You know, everyone learns from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's every season. It's, you know, every week, really, we get people inquiring about how they can do this. You know, rec therapists bring people out. And, you know, we've had rec therapists from the VA bring out, you know, World War II veterans and, you know, Korean War veterans just to get in a track chair and go for a cruise in the state land.
Wow, that's incredible.
So, yeah, I mean, the more people find out about it and the more they see that this is our only mission, is to provide,
Sure.
you know, opportunities for folks that don't necessarily have them often.
Sure.
It kind of floors them, you know, like, well, how much is it? Nothing. You know, I ask people, you can repay me by coming back.
Oh, I like that.
You know?
Wow. Yeah.
But it's since grown to where we're not missing opportunities, but we can definitely expand on opportunities. And here, we've filed for a 501c3.
Okay.
And here in a couple of weeks, we'll be able to, you know, start writing for opportunities to provide more.
Great. Wow, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
You know, and you touched a little bit on this earlier in one of your earlier responses, but Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors offers a wide variety of services for those that participate, including, you mentioned, you know, tracked wheelchair reservations, accessible hunting blinds, and a hunting guide also to assist blind hunters or visually impaired hunters.
Right.
And so, in your mind, why is it important to include disability within the outdoor community? And, like, how do a lot of those, like the guide, for example, like, how do a lot of those accommodations work?
Well, we went through with some of my partners. We sat down and we said, yeah, we should probably have guide training certifications. So, you know, it kind of turned into, you know, people that volunteered the most, they learn on the job.
Okay.
So we were learning how to do the transfers. You know, we had people from the Eisenhower Center, you know, various therapists and, you know, physical therapists show us, you know, so we could all learn together.
Sure.
And, you know, we practice that thing. But when you're out in the field, you know, 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
and, you know, that's when the training and the practice comes into play. So
Sure.
we want to be safe.
Yep.
You know, we want to have every opportunity to break down any barrier that someone might have.
Right.
And, you know, it's just the volunteers that I have are some of the greatest people I've met in my life. You know, people that they take vacation on hunting season and have given up their hunting season to come out and help.
Wow.
Because they've seen the impact of it firsthand. And, you know, a lot of them are veterans. You know, some of them are veterans of tool shops in Romulus, you know,
Sure.
machine shops that just see what we're doing, and they're just all good-hearted people.
Sure. So, and you kind of alluded to one of my other questions. Do you have to be a veteran in order to participate
No.
in this program? Okay.
No, it's for individuals with health challenges, whatever they may be.
Okay.
You know, depression is a health challenge in my mind. You know, we have folks that say, well, you know, my grandpa's old, he hasn't been out to deer camp with us because he never liked filters on his cigarettes and his health isn't, you know, I got a track chair for him as well. So
Okay.
it's not, it doesn't necessarily have to be a veteran. You know, a lot of the word of mouth through the veteran community travels fast.
Sure.
and as well as the disabled community. So I think those two groups together, sometimes you find the disabled helping the abled. And, it's just such a full circle of everyone's out there to have a good time and help each other. So.
Well, no, I think that's wonderful. And I think, in my mind, too, that is sort of a great thing that is extremely representative of community.
Yes.
That people helping each other.
Yeah.
Whether it's, like you said, having it come full circle, or having those individuals that are trained to be those guides, helping those other hunters get out there and get into the woods. Now, for those that don't know, can you briefly describe a accessible hunting blind, like what that is and how it works?
Well, we had on the Sharonville State Game Area, we reached out. I like to make our purchases from Michigan-based companies, and we found a blind manufacturer, and we basically told them how we wanted to build it. So it's a big 8x8 square. The track chair width is 42 inches, so we wanted the doors to be wide enough.
Sure.
But then there's gun windows placed or observation windows, because it's not just used for hunting.
Okay.
That are placed on level with the track chair height. And some of the blinds that we've had donated, Ron Olson, the chief of parks, and Ron Davis of the Oxford County Parks.
Wow.
They had a scissor jack blind that it's on a trailer, and it lowers right down, and it's chair accessible, and the person can hop in, hit a button, and they're 21 feet in the air.
You're kidding me.
So we use that for it's sitting on the Leonard Preserve right now.
Sure.
And we use that we will be using it for wildlife observation.
Wow.
With the community out there got really behind us and supported what we're doing there too. So.
Wow, that is so amazing. I mean, it really seems like technology is just making hunting and being outdoors more accessible for everyone every day.
Right.
And that is just awesome. I mean, wow, someone can press a button and be raised all the way up into a blind.
Well, I mean, that's not even the most, like I said, with all the partners I have, we have the Passing Along the Heritage Foundation. They allowed us to borrow a trailer and put it up on 20 acres of private land in Cadillac.
Wow.
For an individual that, his dexterity wasn't all there. And,
sure.
But they actually have a bracket mount that you can mount a crossbow and aim it from a TV monitor with a joystick.
Wow.
It's a Liberator machine.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
I mean, he may not be able to crank the crossbow or hold it steady to fire it, but if it's mounted in more or less a lead sled hooked to a computer, I mean, that's simple. And even if someone doesn't have the dexterity, there's accessible adaptations, like a sip and puff apparatus.
Okay.
So they can actually blow into a machine to discharge the weapon.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. That
so you
is
can take
amazing.
any one individual hunting.
That is amazing. And briefly, can you touch on what a track chair is and how it's different from a regular wheelchair?
Yeah, well, the Action Track wheelchairs, it's about a 42-inch base, like I said, but, I mean, it looks like a tank. It's got treads on it. They got a 10-mile single charge, marine batteries, so, you don't have to necessarily look at the beach. You can get down to the water. You can get down in the creek and go fishing. And, they have different accessories where you can mount a fishing rod holder or someone to mount your shotgun. And, it goes about 5 miles an hour, but the power of it is phenomenal. We've had people bring rope out with them and pull deer out of the woods themselves.
Wow, in the track chair.
Yeah, well, we actually had an individual the first season. He took some rope out, shot a doe, and he was able to throw the rope over a tree, and he actually, we got the call on the radio, hey, doe down, and we all roll out and track the animal and bring it in for the individual.
Sure.
But he had it already up in a tree that he pulled with the track chair, raised it, and gutted the animal himself. And
wow.
So it's, and he wasn't that independent before. There's no way he would have been able to do that.
Right. Man, that is amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
I want one of those chairs. I just want to go cruising and.
Oh, they're a game changer.
Yeah.
It's we've had people, like I said, we had a Korean War veteran. I had to strap 3 oxygen tanks to his chair to get him out.
Really?
And he wanted to go out on his own, and I wasn't going to tell him.
Are you kidding
I said, "This is your hunt."
Yeah.
And he went out, and he didn't get anything, but one of the neighbors to the property we were hunting pulled in, saw the chair, and they said, "Wow, what are you guys doing?" He said, "Well, I was looking to get some meat in the freezer," and they said, "Well, hang on." They ran back to their house and brought the guy 20 pounds of ground venison.
Oh my gosh.
So he's like, thanks, Tom. I won't be coming back tomorrow. This is all I wanted. But, you know, that was his outing.
Wow. That is amazing. And, you know, you talk a lot about, too, about the services you provide. You said tracking, but then also, you know, field dressing, and then you said processing. So not only do you help with tracking during hunting, not only do you provide accessible blinds, not only do you provide track chairs, but on top of that, if someone does get a deer or an animal, you guys help track it, you help field dress it, and you also pay for the processing of the meat.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about, because a lot of the folks coming out, you know, fixed income and disability.
Okay.
And, you know, the opportunities just keep getting more impactful. You know, we had Washtenaw County approached us. They have a deer management problem in the village of Manchester, township of Manchester. And it was the Leonard Preserve, 300-acre preserve that, you know, they hired all the specialists to come out and identify, the deer are eating all the stuff out here. We can't get anything growing because there's so many deer.
Wow.
So they brought us in instead of taxing the residents and, you know, hiring sharpshooters, however they want to do it. And we were able to go in there and hunt about 70 acres of it.
Wow.
It was basically a peninsula around the River Raisin.
Sure.
And it hadn't been hunted since 2004.
Really?
So opening day we got 8 deer.
8 deer,
And then we ended up on the firearm season with 16.
Wow.
And not to mention, you know, like I said, it was a bedding area. So all the private land residents around had the best season of their lives, I'm willing to bet, because we were, you know, deer management isn't just harvesting the deer, it's getting them off the area.
Okay.
So you get deer off the area, and these private landowners around it were just lighting it up, you know, having a great year. But, but from there, we were able to process deer for 9 individuals and fill their freezers, and in turn, you know, they filled a little bit of mine.
I was going to say, they don't break you off a little bit?
Yeah,
Come
you know,
on,
I only take backstrap, though.
Oh, is that right? Right. No.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great group of individuals that come out, and they're just so grateful for it, you know.
No, that's awesome. And, you know, it's interesting. You talk a lot about, you know, the camaraderie, but, I mean, are there women veterans that come out as well?
Oh, yeah. We actually have a woman veteran that's certified guide.
Oh, okay.
So we had an opportunity to sponsor with the Fort Custer and the Kellogg Biological Center. We did a adult mentored hunt.
Okay.
So she was able to go out, and there was another adult female that was hunting and learning how to hunt.
Sure.
And, you know, Brittany is just a great outdoors woman.
Yeah.
And, you know, she made it real comfortable for her, and they were just really impressed. So it's, I mean, she's harvested more deer than I have, so she, you know, I'm not one to say, hey, you know, she's better at it than I am.
Hey,
so.
There we go.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you got to give respect where it's due, and
Right.
that's amazing that you're able to include everyone. Yeah. So, basically, it's a new year. So what are the goals and upcoming things that MyOFO has set for this year?
Well, it's kind of ever-evolving. You know, I like to be the conductor of resources. If somebody has something that they want to do, a bucket list item, I try and get out there and get it done. You know, whether it's in February, we're going to be led on by a birding specialist with the DNR out in Belle Isle. You know, we're going to go out and do a little Audubon type bird outing, and you know, she's a great, she knows everything about birds.
Wow.
So it's really interesting. I learn a lot, and we get a lot of, you know, really involved folks. And all I ask is, if you want to attend, get a hold of me if you should need a tracked wheelchair, and we'll bring it along.
Okay. Well, and that actually is a catalyst for my next question. Number one, if people want to get involved and contact you and either volunteer or be involved as a hunter with MyOFO, how can they get involved?
Well, there's the easiest way. You know, if you look this up online, my number's online with in conjunction with every story, you know, every press release. But they're on myofo.org. There's a volunteer button. So if you fill that out, you know, say what you want to help with. You know, I keep everything in file, and then if I get a call, someone like, hey, I want to go fly fishing. Maybe there's someone that volunteered that knows a lot about fly fishing, and we can link them up and, you know, provide the opportunity.
Awesome. Wonderful. And one of the other questions I had for you, too, you don't just do, as you said in your earlier response, you talked about bird watching. So you do a lot of other events other
Right.
than just hunting game.
Right.
And
I mean,
so,
we've done yoga at the Crosswoods
really?
Marsh, and you know, I want to throw 100 first annuals at the wall and see what sticks.
Sure.
You know, so last year we were able to do a great, you know, I got the Bow Fishing Association of Michigan and Michigan Bow Fishermen stepped up, and they have a great community themselves. And, you know, they're conservationists in the rawest form. They're taking out fish that suck eggs off all the, you know, some beds.
Yeah.
And, the, you know, the fish that we need. So, you know, there's a lot of carp and gar and goldfish even that just overpopulate some of these rivers.
Mm-hmm.
So we went out on the Lake St. Clair. We had 15 boats come out, you know, from airboats to pontoons that were outfitted to get chairs on
There we
and
go.
elevated platforms to shoot off of, and we shot 1,000 pounds of fish.
1,000 pounds?
Yeah, and my
Wow.
buddy, we had a veteran farmer in the Battle Creek area that needed it for fertilizer, so we just went and dumped it in his, on his, you know, every ounce of fish went back to fertilizing his soil.
That's great.
And we're looking for it this year after the schedules get set, you know, May, June time frame. We're going to have our second annual Bows for the Brave tournament.
All right, wonderful. So mark your calendar for that Bows for the Braves
Yeah.
tournament, definitely. Another question I had for you, too. For those watching, why should someone get involved with Michigan Operation Freedom Outdoors? Why should they get involved with the program?
I think everybody knows somebody that's been affected either from, you know, a disability or, you know, a new disability. Some of our returning servicemen and women, they come back and it's hard for them to recognize as the person they were prior to the service. So what we're going out and doing is just, you know, doing good by people, helping them out whichever way we can. You know, there's a lot of resourceful people around, like I said. But if you get involved, you know, getting involved in something like this isn't getting involved to be in a hunting club,
Right.
or, you know, it's a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, you know, we're surrounded by great people that we just like to help.
Yeah.
So if it's, you know, even someone on their own property, if they're not able to get back to their woods and go around their own land, we have folks that'll go give a demo day at their house and, you know, show them the track chair to where, you know, it's breaking the barriers today to build for a better tomorrow, to provide, you know, that breath of fresh air or that encouragement to, hey, you know, yes, I can do this stuff.
Mm.
So to bring the independence back to people's lives and you know, let them have a support network that's has no ulterior motives but just to help.
Well, Tom, that is wonderful. Breaking the barriers today for a better tomorrow, and we couldn't end on a better note. That is all the time we have for today, folks. I want to thank Tom for joining me in studio, and hope that you can tune in to Ann Arbor Inclusive next month. And as always, stay awesome, Ann Arbor.
Yeah, well, I mean, depending on, yeah, I mean, people have, not during hunting where there's any firearms.
no, yeah,
Right.
no.
Was it good?